The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution I and the Subaru Impreza WRX arrived in the early 90s to dominate the world of rallying. Both cars brought turbocharged power to all four wheels, changing the landscape for enthusiasts everywhere. The Evolution I was built specifically to homologate the brand for Group A racing, featuring a punchy 2-liter engine that produced 247 horsepower. It was raw and focused, aiming for agility on tight stages. Meanwhile, the Impreza WRX offered a more refined yet equally potent package. With its signature flat 4-boxer engine layout, the Subaru felt different to drive, providing a lower center of gravity that helped in high-speed cornering. These two started a legendary rivalry that would push both manufacturers to refine their platforms for decades, turning standard sedans into world-class performance weapons. As the mid-90s hit, the intensity climbed. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution to refine the formula with a longer wheelbase and better suspension geometry to sharpen its handling. It upped the power to 256 horsepower, proving Mitsubishi was committed to incremental but vital gains. Across the fence, the Subaru Impreza WRX STI represented the performance pinnacle for its maker. It was a more aggressive machine, featuring a stiffer suspension and more engine work to boost output. While the Evolution 2 focused on chassis balance and precise turn-in, the STI provided that raw, visceral punch of the turbocharged boxer engine that became an iconic sound for rally fans. Both cars showed how these companies were constantly tweaking their road cars to survive the brutal demands of the WRC. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3 arrived with a distinct aerodynamic package, featuring a massive rear wing and a redesigned front air dam to increase downforce. It pushed power to 266 horsepower, cementing its reputation as a serious street fighter. It felt more planted than its predecessors, especially when pushed hard on loose surfaces. The Subaru Impreza WRX in its standard form remained a more accessible entry point into the turbo all-wheel drive world. While it lacked the radical aero of the top-tier Mitsubishi, it offered a balanced chassis that was incredibly tunable. Many enthusiasts preferred the Subaru for its daily driving comfort, even if the Evolution 3 held a slight edge in raw track performance. It was a classic clash of dedicated homologation special versus a versatile everyday performance sedan. By the late 90s, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution I FIF brought a completely new platform with a wider body and improved weight distribution. It was arguably the biggest step forward in the Evolution series, featuring a new turbocharger setup that helped produce 276 horsepower. It felt more like a modern sports sedan than any previous model. The Subaru Impreza WRX STI kept pace by continuously refining the engine internals and driveline. Subaru focused heavily on the STI badge, ensuring it remained competitive against the rapidly evolving Mitsubishi. These two cars defined the late 90s era, where technology and boost pressure were the main weapons in the war for rally dominance. Both vehicles became icons of the golden age of Japanese performance cars, creating a legacy that persists in car culture today. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5 is often cited as a high water mark for the series. It featured an even wider body and a more aggressive stance, which allowed for wider tires and improved cornering speeds. It remains a fan favorite for its mechanical purity and raw, unfiltered driving experience. The Subaru Impreza WRX was the sensible counterpoint, offering a slightly more subdued exterior while still maintaining the all-wheel drive capability that made the brand famous. While the Mitsubishi was built with an uncompromising focus on tarmac and gravel speed, the Subaru provided a platform that was incredibly easy to live with day to day. Comparing them really highlights the difference in philosophy. Mitsubishi pushed for absolute performance, while Subaru balanced that speed with long-distance comfort and accessibility. When the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5i debuted, it brought refined aerodynamics and improved cooling, which were critical for the brutal reliability required in World Championship rallying. It was a machine that demanded respect from anyone behind the wheel. The Subaru Impreza WRX STI answered with its own set of upgrades, focusing on drivetrain robustness and suspension tuning to keep the flat-4 engine competitive. Both cars were now reaching a point where they could outperform many exotic sports cars on a tight technical course. The Evolution 5i offered precision that felt almost surgical, while the STI maintained that distinct boxer character and legendary grip. These cars represented the zenith of the late 90s era, pushing the limits of what a production sedan could achieve in terms of pure performance. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution Vi marked a significant shift in design, moving onto a larger platform that offered more cabin space and a more refined chassis. It was a more mature car, but it retained the legendary all-wheel drive system that made previous versions so fast. Meanwhile, the Subaru Impreza WRX was also transitioning into its second generation. The change in design was a major talking point at the time, but underneath, it was still the same reliable, turbocharged, all-wheel drive formula that fans loved. Both manufacturers were trying to balance the needs of rally pedigree with the practical requirements of a road-going sedan. It was a transitional period where both cars grew up, becoming more sophisticated without losing that essential spirit of rally-inspired speed. By the time the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5i arrived, technology like the active center differential was becoming a defining feature. It allowed the car to adapt its handling characteristics on the fly, making it incredibly fast in almost any condition. It was a technological powerhouse. The Subaru Impreza WRX STI, meanwhile, was leaning into its heritage with a focus on mechanical grip and a punchy 2.5-liter engine for international markets. The battle between the two was becoming a fight over which electronics could best manage the immense power being sent to the pavement. It was no longer just about horsepower, it was about how that power was deployed. Both cars showed an incredible amount of development, proving that the rivalry was still pushing engineers to new heights. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution iX represents for many the final form of the classic 4G63 engine platform. With variable valve timing, it offered better response and a more usable power band, making it even quicker than the previous iteration. It was the sweet spot for many tuners and enthusiasts alike. The Subaru Impreza WRX, in contrast, was becoming a much more refined daily driver. It provided plenty of speed, but with a chassis that felt slightly softer and more comfortable compared to the sharp, aggressive focus of the Evolution YX. Comparing these two really shows the diverging paths. Mitsubishi doubled down on its high-performance roots, while Subaru sought to broaden the appeal of its WRX platform, making it friendlier for the average person. With the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution X, everything changed. It used a brand new aluminum engine, the 4B11, and introduced a sophisticated dual-clutch transmission that shifted faster than any human could. It was a massive leap into the modern era of performance. The Subaru Impreza WRX STI also evolved, adopting a hatchback body style for the first time in some markets before returning to a sedan. It kept its character with the flat 4 layout and symmetrical all-wheel drive. These cars were now full-fledged tech heavyweights, using complex systems to manage their speed. It was a battle of philosophy. Mitsubishi went for a high-tech, high-speed approach with the dual-clutch system, while Subaru stayed true to the traditional manual gearbox and its established boxer DNA. Looking back, the Mitsubishi Galant VR-4 was a visionary machine that brought turbocharged power and four-wheel steering to a family sedan long before it was common. It was a testament to Mitsubishi's early commitment to performance. On the other side, the Subaru Legacy Spec B represented the premium side of performance. It was a more upscale sedan that packed a turbocharged engine and a sophisticated suspension into a package that felt luxurious as well as fast. While the Galant was the scrappy, innovative pioneer, the Legacy Spec B was the refined Executive Express. They represent two different ways to arrive at the same goal, providing a fast, engaging sedan for drivers who needed more than just a standard family car. Both remain underrated gems in the history of Japanese all-wheel drive. The Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart was designed to bridge the gap between a standard sedan and the high-performance Evolution series. It offered a turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive, but in a much more streetable, user-friendly package. It was perfect for those who wanted a bit of excitement without the sharp edges of the top-tier models. The Subaru WRX was the natural competitor, consistently delivering that signature performance feel in a package that was equally accessible. It was all about usability. These cars were the everyday heroes of the performance world, offering enough power to have fun while still being practical enough for a daily commute. They showed that you didn't need the most extreme specs to enjoy the benefits of turbocharging and all-wheel drive in a daily driven machine. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. 5. Itomi Makinen Edition is perhaps the most desirable iteration of the series. Named after the rally legend, it featured a quicker steering ratio and a titanium turbocharger for better spooling. It was a collector's dream that was also incredibly fast. The Subaru Impreza WRX STI was its constant foil, a car that refused to back down from any challenge. With its robust transmission and well-proven chassis, it was a reliable companion for anyone looking to push their limits on the road or track. Both cars perfectly embody the era when rally success directly translated into the best road cars. Comparing them is a lesson in passion, as both companies were essentially selling a race car that you could drive to the grocery store. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution VIEMR was a refined beast, taking the already capable Evolution VEIE and adding a 6-speed transmission and specialized suspension components. It was designed for those who wanted a bit more polish without losing any of the intensity. In contrast, the Subaru Impreza 22B is one of the most mythical cars ever produced. With its wide body and iconic blue and gold scheme, it was a pure limited edition performance machine that defined what a Subaru could be. Comparing a mass-produced performance icon like the MR with a low-volume legend like the 22B highlights the different ways these two companies left their marks. Both are celebrated as the pinnacle of their respective brands' history in the rally scene. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution IXMR brought everything good about the 9th generation together, with a focus on weight savings and high-end suspension parts. It was arguably the last truly raw and analog-feeling evolution before the platform changed completely. The Subaru Impreza RA was a different kind of beast, a car built with a single-minded focus on speed, often stripping away unnecessary luxuries to ensure the best possible power-to-weight ratio. While the Evolution or XMR provided a more complete high-performance package, the RA was a focus tool for the enthusiast who wanted a platform to build upon. They reflect two sides of the same coin, where performance can be achieved through either adding high-tech components or stripping the car down to its essentials. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution X Final Edition was a bittersweet goodbye to an icon. It featured a tweaked engine and commemorative badging, serving as the ultimate send-off to a legendary nameplate. It was packed with every trick the company had learned over 2 decades. The Subaru Impreza Type R, in contrast, represents the early passion of the brand, a stripped-back, nimble and highly responsive machine that captured the imagination of rally fans everywhere. Comparing them is like looking at the beginning and the end of an era. The Type R was about the raw excitement of starting something special, while the Final Edition was about refining that journey to its absolute limit. Both are deeply significant, serving as bookends to a rivalry that defined a whole generation of street racers. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution GSR was always the benchmark for a no-nonsense, high-performance sedan that could handle anything. It wasn't about luxury, it was about traction, steering precision, and pure speed. It is a car that demands your full attention at all times. On the other side, the Subaru Legacy GT is a prime example of a different type of all-wheel drive performance. It offered a smooth, sophisticated power delivery from its turbocharged engine, wrapped in a body that was more about understated style than aggressive aero. While the GSR was designed for the stage, the Legacy GT was designed for the road. They show the incredible versatility of turbo all-wheel drive platforms, from the brutal simplicity of the Lancer to the composed grace of the Legacy.